Hello, friends. Where do vampires keep their money? In the blood bank. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. It was a nice day, so I decided to go to the carnival. I had not been since I was a child and I remembered it fondly. As soon as I arrived there, all of these memories of riding rides and eating popcorn rushed to my mind. It was very nostalgic. I started to walk around the carnival and soon after I saw a mirror maze. I was always too afraid to go in them as a child. Being as I am an adult that is not scared of mirrors, I thought it was time for a mundane adventure. I walked up to the ticket taker and handed him a ticket. He stared at me with this strange look on his face. I thought it was bizarre, but I continued to walk towards the mirror maze. Right before I entered, I heard him say nearly under his breath, "Be careful." I hesitated, but I didn't respond. As I entered, I looked around thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be easy. What I soon realized was that the further you ventured in, the harder the maze got. I stopped to take a break and I heard someone say, "Finally someone else is in here. I have been bored all day." I laughed light-heartedly and replied, "Long day, huh?" assuming it was a work that was talking to me. He replied, "Oh, you don't know the half of it." Something about his reply turned the blood in my veins ice cold. I don't know if it was because it lacked all emotion or my body was just preparing me for what was going to happen next. Trying to make sense of it all, I said, "So how long have you worked for the carnival?" There was an awkward silence followed by an extremely monotone laugh. "Oh, I don't work here." I froze. I didn't know what to do, but I knew that I was starting to feel more and more uneasy. "Did I scare you?" he asked with a clear lack of concern. No. But where are you? I am starting to believe that you can see me, but I cannot see you. I heard the deafening silence followed by that monotone laugh again. "Well, that's part of the fun, my dear." Almost scared to respond, I replied, What do you mean?" He replied this time with a more sinister tone. "Let's play a game. Let's see if you can make it out of this maze before I make it to you." I felt like my legs were going to give out from under me. I collapsed into the mirror in front of me. "What do I win if I make it out?" I asked this person, hoping that I will like the answer. I never felt complete and utter fear like I felt when he responded. He simply replied, "Well, you'll get to live." I thought I was going to pass out. I felt like I was trapped. So if you catch me, you will kill me? Is that what you are saying? Suddenly I could feel this presence. It made every hair on my body stand up. I whipped around to look behind me and there he was staring at me, watching the color drain from my face. I was almost as pale as he was. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Maybe, how bad do you want to find out?" I immediately thought to myself, I don't want to find out at all. I turned around and started running. I ran as fast as I could with my arms out, hoping desperately that I did not run into a mirror. He was as calm as I was frantic. "Did you notice anything different about me?" he said as he toyed with my existence. "Different? What do you mean?" I said as I erratically looked around me. "So you mean to tell me that you did not notice that it was a million you are surrounded by one of me?" The way he worded that question stood out as odd to me. If there are a million me's, wouldn't you be the one that was surrounded? To which he replied, "I don't feel surrounded. Do you?" I felt like my heart was in my throat. As terrified as I was, I did notice that I was at a point in the maze where I could no longer tell which was a mirror and which was the path. I heard him yell out, "Hurry, you are running out of," and almost as if he appeared out of nowhere, even though my body could sense his presence long before my mind could. I could feel the breath from the last word on the back of my neck. He was so close that I couldn't even turn around, and he knew it. I closed my eyes as I heard the word time wrap coldly around my neck. I ran full speed until I collided with a mirror. I must have passed out. I was awakened by a deep gut-wrenching scream. He was on his knees holding his hand in agony, looking up at me with evil in his eyes. I just turned around and ran. As I was running, everything started to make sense. I didn't really pay attention to what he was saying earlier, but if there is only one of him, that means that he doesn't have a reflection. I looked up at the mirror and realized that I had a cross around my neck. He must have tried to grab me and the cross burned him. Fear choked me the way he probably wanted to when I started to realize exactly how much danger I was in. I am being chased, no, stalked by a vampire. I could not believe what I was saying. That cannot be what is happening, right? Nothing is making sense. Against my better judgment, I asked him, "Are you a vampire?" Obviously still in pain and now angry, he shouted, "Of course I am." In an almost demonic tone, he continued, "And I'm hungry." I ran and ran until I reached a point where I was trapped by mirrors. The only way out was to go back out of this mirrored cul-de-sac to try to find another way, but I was too scared to do that. I knew he was close and probably already knew where I was. I heard him say, "Seems like we have reached a dead end, have we?" I didn't reply. I leaned my back against a mirror and slid down to the floor. With tears running down my cheeks, I was ready to admit defeat. I think I hit my head harder than I thought I did, and I was running out of options. He was so close that I could hear footsteps. Step by step my end was gaining on me and I was all out of moves. Right when he was close enough that I could see him, my mind threw me a Hail Mary. Break the mirrors. As I locked eyes with him, he could see hope emerge on my face. He started running full speed at me. I turned around and punched the mirror as hard as I could, and it broke. I couldn't believe it. It actually broke. So I broke another one, and another one, until I saw the exit sign. I burst out of the door and I just kept running. I turned around and saw him bend down and swipe a drop of blood across his finger from the drip that my bloody hand made. He licked it off of his finger while he waved at me and smiled. I circled around to the front of the mirror maze, and the ticket taker looked stunned, like he had just seen a ghost, which shouldn't have been surprising to him since he has a fucking vampire lurking in his mirror maze. He stood up and watched me walk away. I bled the whole way home. Even after I wrapped my hand and took a shower, I could not shake the feeling that this wasn't over. I didn't feel like I won. When I stepped out of the shower, I understood why. Only this time I wasn't as scared, because at least now I knew what I was up against. On the steam-filled mirror were written the words, "Let's play again."